red, blue, purple light. Red, blue, purple light. Friends, facts. Red, blue, purple light. Friends, red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Melanin Mondays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar, tapping in live and direct. All right, you dig? AKA Schooly Red up in this thing. All right. Let me know how we sounding on the audio. Let me know how we sound on the audio. Okay, before we get things moving up in here, up in here, up in here. E. Sound is good. All right, all right, all right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Let's go ahead and do the roll call. We have a very exciting show, as you can see by the title of the show, Unlocking the Astronomical and Mathematical Knowledge of Masonic Symbols, featuring my good brother, Kanah Bey. All right. This will be a new guest for the platform. Shout out to my good brother, Abdullah Mosley Bey. All right. We're going to have a powerful conversation. Today is a powerful day. There's so much shit going on. So many things happening, man. I mean, God darn it. Here I'm talking about. I can't even get into it. Happy MLK Day to everybody. You smell me? And happy Inauguration Day, of course, you know, for all of my voters out there. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's talk about it. We're not going to use this episode to cover everything that's happening with the whole Trump presidency. We'll probably pick that up on another day. But tonight we're going to have a great conversation and whatnot. So definitely get your pens and pads. We're going to be, it's going to be a lot of note taking. We're going in, you know what I mean? We're going in, classes in session. Charlotte is in the building. Harlem is in the building. South Carolina is in the building. PG County is in the building. AZ is in the building. Palm Beach is in the building. Massachusetts is in the building. The BX is in the building. You dig? Bridgeport, Connecticut is in the building. You feel me? Red House is in the building. Sacramento is in the building. We have Colorado in the building. Pittsburgh up in the thing. Shout out to the family on Twitch. Shout out to the Facebook family. Shout out to the YouTube family. We broadcasting all across the internet right now. Alabama's in the building. Ireland is in the building. We got Hawaii in the building. Houston is up in here. Pinecrest is in here. Providence, Rhode Island up in this thing. Tampa tapping in. We got Cape Verde, Africa. Africa. Yeah. Bed-Stuy, now in Georgia. Okay. All right. We have Phoenix via Cali, Virgin Islands. Shout out to the Virgin Islands. We have Nairobi. We got a global audience. We got a global audience in the building. That means a lot to me. You feel me? We got a global audience. We global now. We tapped in. You feel me? So shout out to everybody around the globe. Everybody tapping in from around the grids and whatnot. The grids are connected. Salute to all of y'all. Delaware. Shout out to Delaware. Shout out to the D. What happened? What up, though? What happened with the Lions? I thought y'all was coming to New Orleans with me. What the? Las Vegas up in this thing. You know what I'm talking about? Las Vegas. We have the Gulf Coast. MI, SSI. You know all of that, right? Yeah. So, with that being said, let's get this show underway. All right, let's get this show underway. First and foremost, salute to everybody who was here with us for Saturday Night Live, especially those that were live with us. Man, that show was a classic, an instant classic. Had a lot of fun. And then we moved the show over to Brother Rich's show. All right, on Black Magic 363, me and Blue Pill. That one right there was a classic. We were talking about everything in the news that was going down and whatnot. The whole shit with TikTok and Drake and the lawsuit and all of that. If you didn't see that, make sure you tap in. We might be able to drop that in the chat. My mod, shout out to my mods in the building. We should be able to drop the link so you could go and put that on your watch later list and whatnot. You feel me? New Mexico. Shout out to y'all. Somebody said Trump coin. Ha ha. How many of y'all hopped on that right there? I'm going to keep it a buck with you. You know, I don't get on the internet and start blowing smoke and whatnot. I jumped on the Melania Trump coin. I like Melania Trump. She hates everybody. I like women like that. You know what I'm talking about? I don't like a woman to be in everybody's face, showing their teeth and whatnot. I like Melania. She hates everyone. She hates her husband. The only person I think she likes is tall ass Barron Trump. And I could respect that. That's the first lady. You know what I'm saying? I seen her today at the inauguration. Everybody was trying to give pounds and whatnot. She had the shit from Mortal Kombat. She had the hat on, mad low, and she was just moving through. I like my women conceited. You feel me? I don't like no woman that's in everybody's face. You could count her cavities and everything. She's a stand-up. You know what I mean? So I was like, I heard that she launched a coin. I went and put a bag on it. And right now, you know, I'm in a corner. I'm in a corner like a dope fiend checking the prices on that coin because it doubled. I threw it on. I got in there. I got in at like $6. I tried to get in at $4. They kept blocking me. It wasn't letting me get in. I got in at $6. I seen that shit hit 13, but now currently right now it's at $3.55. So you know I'm tight. I'm kind of hurt right now. You feel me? I'm kind of hurt right now. But all is well. All is well that ends well. I'm gonna hold on to that coin because if there's anybody who's gonna sink Donald Trump's ship, if he has an Achilles heel, it's Melania. Okay, it's Melania. So I'm gonna hold on to her coin. She might go up one day. You feel me? She might go up one. I ain't mad at her. If there's anybody that could take this nigga down, it's his whiz. It's Melania. She knows where the bodies are buried. You know what I mean? But she looks like she's a team player. She's playing her position superbly. You feel me? Yeah, she's out there looking like Carmen Sandiego. She's playing her position superbly. Okay, yeah, for real. I respect that. You know what I'm talking about? Islam to all of the Moors in the building. you know? And they launched the Baron coin. I didn't hop on that. I missed the Trump. Somebody got rich in my network that's strong in. Salute to y'all. Send me something. Will you buy me a coffee, my nigga? Somebody had to hop on that Trump coin. I seen when they launched it. I just didn't pay no attention because I was too petty. I was too busy paying attention to that petty shit that's on the internet. And I promise you, this is my vow moving forward on some for my Mobites and my Moors, whoever y'all identify as. This we in a Trump era officially. I can't. You feel me? Like I can't anymore. I can't deal with the BS no more. I'm on big man business. I'm on my Trump shit. I'm on billionaire business right now. You feel me? I don't want to deal with none of this stupid shit because it be distracting. It distracted me from buying a Trump coin. You feel me? I could have been in the Airbnb right now doing this show. I could have been in Cancun or somewhere. I could have been in Dubai on you brothers and sisters. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I woke up with FOMO. I woke up tight, bro. I was like, how did I miss this? 24 hours. Dudes got rich in 24 hours. You feel me? You said buy XDC. I mean, I'm really at this point, I'm just into the time travel technology. I don't want to sit around and try to guess anything. I just want to get the time travel machine so I could go back and buy Bitcoin when it was $1. I want to go back and buy the Trump coin when it was 5 cents. I don't want to do nothing else. I'm not gonna, because it's literally gambling. I put the dice down years ago. I don't want to get into this gambling shit. I just want to invent a time machine. I'm like Biff from Back in the Future. That's how I'm trying to cheat. You know what I mean? Get the Solano phone. It's airdrop heavy. Yeah, I'm heavy on Solano right now. I was sitting on mass Solano and whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my dude Chicago Crypto and everybody that was on that crypto wave. I just hope and pray that somebody came up. You know what I'm saying? I'm affirming that. I'm affirming that somebody came up. If it wasn't me, I'm affirming that somebody came up. You feel me? He already pardoned 1,500 and got. See, I'm not worried about none of that. They keeping you concerned with the petty shit. Look, Trump is gonna Trump. Where's the money at? That's what I'm talking about at this point. So it's 2025. Where's the bag at? I don't care about nothing that he's doing. They like, oh, Elon Musk did the Nazi salute. Sell me the Cybertruck. If sell me the Tesla car at a premium right now. I need about 4 of them in my garage. If it means something to you that he's Nazi saluting, sell me your Tesla or shut the F up, bro. I looked at the Tesla stocks and them shits are not taking a hit. It's all fluff. I don't want to hear about none of that. Black people, and I say black, they be worried about the wrong things, bro. I'm on the internet and they just worried about what niggas is wearing. Everything that don't mean nothing. I'm done with that. I'm not talking about. I started unfollowing people. You feel me? I started the mass purge on my Instagram timeline. I'm unfollowing a lot of people, bro. I don't want to be a part of nobody's echo chamber. You know what I mean? I'm crashing out. You feel me? I'm really crashing out. I just want to hear about business related things. I don't think nobody could. I'm not really learning from a lot of people. I wish they kept TikTok away from y'all niggas because let me share something with you. Bad knowledge is worse than ignorance. I would rather the youth be super ignorant. Ignorance is bliss. But now they be running around with this TikTok information that they getting, and I promise you, it's triggering me. It's not real knowledge, bro. I would rather them be YNs that just mumble all day rather than the shit that I be seeing them do on TikTok. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? This is not real knowledge. You know what I mean? It don't equate to nothing. You feel me? It's a lot of It's causing mental issues amongst these kids, bro. The shit that they on TikTok talking about, bro. I'm like, what the hell? How did you put that together? I mean, it's a bunch of, it's a lot of psychobabble. Yeah, TikTok was down for 25 minutes. Dudes was cutting themselves, people jumping off of bridges and whatnot. They got shot down bad, bro. They got shot down bad. I mean, this digital addiction thing, you saw it in real time. You saw it in real time. You try taking a tablet away from a toddler. You saw it in real time. You know, you say he pardoned one of your friends that had 40 years. That's what's up. Go and pick them up. You know what I mean? When they get out from doing 40 years, are you going to give them 3 Bitcoins? Like, are you going to give them some Solana or something? If you can't pull up with them with some, we in the future right now. You know what I'm saying? People is catching up. Man, I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you. You forgot about your Phantom wallet? Well, you better remind yourself that it's around, because for all of them, and I don't look, this is my disclaimer. I don't shoot dice anymore. I don't go to the casino. I don't even do scratch offs. I'm not a part of that breed and whatnot. But if that's your thing, right? The meme coins is the new CeeLo. The meme coins is the new CeeLo. You know what I'm saying? Throw your arm out if that's what you got to do. You know what I mean? Throw your arm out if that's what you got to do. But literally, you got people sitting around right now playing with the meme coins, hitting licks. You didn't hear it from me. You know what I'm talking about? You did not hear it from me. They out there hitting licks. For real, for real. But that's not my thing. If I was down bad, though, that would be my thing. I'm going to just keep it a buck with you. If I was down bad, if I had 10 racks to blow, I would try my hand, you know, because it's real like that. But y'all don't, y'all don't hear me, though. And I'm gonna just keep it. I'm gonna stop it right there, because we have a show to conduct. That was just my little rant. I had to get it out my system. I don't want to, because when the guests come on, I don't want to interrupt them with my rants. I just had to get that out real quick. Word from our sponsors before we continue. Let's get a few words from the sponsors, because we do have a lot of things going on in the world right now. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you did not know, we have a 4-week workshop entitled AI Accelerated 4.4, featuring me and the good brother Spin City. This is currently going on right now. I encourage everybody to tap in. Why? Because AI is the future, and 2025 is the year of AI agents. It's the year of video generation. It's the year of quantum. And with Donald J. Trump and Elon Musk in the White House, it's only going to ramp up. You saw the billionaires at the White House today. You saw all of them. All of the 4 horsemen was there. Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Horowitz, they was all there. Jeff Bezos, you know what I'm saying? It was about $1 trillion in that building and whatnot. So things about to pick up, you know what I mean? And then on January the 9th, right? No, January the 10th. No, what am I talking about? On February the 10th, which is a Monday, the day after the Super Bowl, I will be in New Orleans conducting Melanin Monday from the Ital Gardens in New Orleans. If you are in the New Orleans area, please get your tickets. They are selling out very fast. We're about 85% sold. So make sure you get your tickets. We may be filled to capacity. You might not be able to get in at the door. So with that being said, I want y'all to get your tickets for Melanin Mondays at New Orleans, Ital Gardens. You know we're going to have a lot to talk about. I think that's going to be the most watched, quote unquote, halftime show in history. Okay? In history. Your boy Drake is making sure that everybody tunes in on that one. So Melanin Mondays at the Ital Gardens in New Orleans. The doors open at 6 p.m. and they close at 10 p.m. February the 10th. All right? And that's right around the corner. And then on February the 8th, in the ATL, we will be with Brother Rich, and he's going to be doing a magnificent, dynamic, magnanimous event called the Non-Ether Gods. Okay, hold on, let me get the correct name of that. Let me drop the Non-Ether God Fest, right? The Non-Ether God Fest, Saturday, February the 8th at 7 p.m. This is a nighttime thing, you know what I mean? This is a nighttime thing for grown people, and that's going to feature Cambada, Loaded Lux, Billy Carson is going to be there. Red and Blue Pill is going to be there. B. Dell is going to be there. Sister Myra is going to be there. Sister Erin Lyons is going to be there. Ra Aku is going to be there. KT the Arch Degree is so many people, I can't even name them all. This is going to be the biggest event of the year, and it just started for consciousness for this community. The biggest event of the year on February the 8th at the New Black Wall Street and ATL. And yeah, that's gonna be it right there. Make sure y'all pull up. I will be in the building, merch on deck. You feel me? Merch on deck. A whole bunch of new stuff. And yeah. And let me share something with y'all, and then we're gonna get into the show. I'm dropping a link for it right there. Let me share something to y'all real quick, and then we're gonna get into the show, ladies and gentlemen. As you do know, if you tapped in on Saturday, we have a new moniker or a new AKA, and that AKA is Schooly Red. And we're gonna have Schooly Red merch in the building. And I think we're gonna be dropping the 44 Tops album. But check this new entry out, and then we're gonna get back to the we're gonna get right back, and we're gonna start the show. Peace. What the hell? I don't know what's going on. Okay. We're going to have to come back to that one right there. It just, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was going to drop something on y'all, but it ain't dropping. All right. So with that being said, is my good brother El Kanah in the building. I see you, Yisrael. Is the brother El Kanah in the building? So we can begin our conversation. Okay. Let me go ahead and open up the floor for the good brother. Let me see if this is him in the building. All right. Peace, good brother Islam.
Islam, brother.
Peace, peace.
Peace.
All right.
Waiting on the brother El Kanah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. All right. So I'm going to bring you back down. And when he pops up, we're going to get this thing going.
Indeed, bro.
Yes. All right. Let me go ahead and re-upload this thing right here. Schooly Red. Schooly Red. Let me hear from you. Schooly Red, come to the stage. Let me see what you got there, good brother. Oh, man. I got to re-upload it. I'm surprised that you're surprised. I'm not judging you. I'm just smudging you. Yeah. Interesting. Peekaboo. There we go.
Not judging you, I'm just smudging you.
Let's go.
I'm surprised that you're surprised. The love the teacher's dreaming.
Hey.
Ancestors watching.
Hey.
The devil spent the bomb on the star seeds got to drop. Talk back to me. The revolution getting digitized. The ruler getting monetized. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. We built pyramids all over the earth.
we'll end the show with that. That's a little, you know what I mean? A little cosmic soul right there. Get y'all tuned up and whatnot. Wake y'all up. My guest is in the building, so let's go ahead and get this thing started, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our good brother Kanah Bey in the building. Peace.
Yes,
Islam.
sir. Peace. Peace. Islam, Islam, Islam.
Yes, Islam. How are you, King?
Doing fine, brother. How about yourself?
I can't complain. I can't complain. You know, just
Okay.
you know, one day at a time. You know how that goes. One day at a time.
That's what it is. That's what it's all about. But we make it.
Yes,
you know.
We do. Yes, we do. Before we even get started, I want you to introduce yourself to the family. All right. Let them know who you are, where you hail from, so they could become familiar with you, King.
All right. All right. So I am
Okay. The audio we're having a little connectivity. Let me fix that real quick and bring the brother back on. He might have some signal issues. Master teacher will be digitized. Revolution will be digitized. That's a bop right there. That is a bop. All right. Peace, my good brother Abdullah. Islam. Said that song dope. Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right. And tomorrow we have Techno Tuesdays. All right. We have Techno Tuesdays tomorrow. I have a special guest. All right. We have my good brother Spin City. I have a new special guest that I'm going to bring to the stage as well. And then next Tuesday, we have our good brother Alkebalon 44 and B Dell. That's going to be a powerful transmission. Y'all mark that on your calendars and make sure that y'all are in the building. We're going to crash the internet with that one. That's not a Techno Tuesday. That's just a special program that we're going to be doing, bringing the masters through and whatnot. So look out for that. All right. Yes, brother Kanah, you got to connect your mic and your camera so I could bring you on stage. That's what it's telling me right now. Yes, that's going to be a powerhouse. That's going to be about you. I would suggest y'all buy a whole extra notepad, because that thing is going to be filled up right there. The brothers are going to go crazy. All right, here we go. There we go. Yes, you good.
I had to get off my phone, man. My phone is. I'm not even gonna go into that, man. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, the way that the way this technology is set up, it is most favorable for like desktops, and then after that laptops, and then after that tablets, and then the phone. So
then the cell phone.
Yeah,
that ain't good.
You feel me? But it's all good, man. Pleasure to have you here, King.
But pleasure to be here.
Yes. Salute. Welcome to Know the Ledge. Yes. Can you introduce yourself to the family in the building and let them know who you are?
Indeed. Okay, family. I'm out of Chicago. Past Grandmaster in another jurisdiction. Currently at a Grand Lodge now. I'm part of a Scottish Rite jurisdiction, and I'm in a York Rite jurisdiction. 97th degree, 33rd, and then 97th degree Mason. And yeah, man, just coming into not just coming into, but as far as the knowledge of self and culture, um, proclaiming, who we are as Moors, coming out of the system, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And just, coming into and what I mean by coming into my own and coming into my culture is just now assuming responsibility, because we
Right.
always look and say, well, somebody has to take care of our society, our kids. Things ain't the way it was when we were growing up. Well, it's up to us to go ahead and, you know what I'm saying? We got to pick up the
Right.
mantle. Those grown men back then, 40, 50 years ago, they did their job. You know what I'm saying? Well, most of them did. So
Right.
now it's time for us to go ahead and kick it in and do our job. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So just kind of coming into my own with that,
So
yeah.
would you say that you saying that you were in the lodge before you got knowledge of self when it came to the Moorish identity?
Yeah. I was in the pathway. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I was in the pathway, and with going into the lodge, and this is one of the reasons why I've made it up to the levels that I made it in the lodge, because I was always asking and seeking, well, why? Well, why? Well, what about this? Well,
Right.
why? You know what I'm saying? And just from my name, the Bay came afterwards, but Kanah is actually my Hebrew name from, my Igbo tribe. The
Right.
last name is Onyali.
Onyali.
Onyali, right?
Okay.
So, I'm an Igbo, which surprisingly, we wear maroon, not
Right.
fezes, so not
Cartouches.
fezes, but it's not the firm felt that we have right now, but it's maroon. You know what I'm
Is it a
saying?
cartouche?
Yeah, more like a cartouche. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So and it all it's ironic because in masonry, somehow or another, through the shrine, and
Yes.
this is important, it's interesting. Through the shrine is the Moorish fez, and you see all of this writing on here. All right,
Yes.
but that's when I was out of. Initially, I was wearing. I was like this. I was here with it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I was here
Mm-hmm.
with it. But then what ended up happening was when I got it, and I remained here.
Right.
I always, so that didn't falter.
Right.
All right. Now, what ended up happening is in my youth, I was wearing something a little more flimsier because it was still part of the it was kind of like a wool material, whatever, and it was a little redder. But that
Mm-hmm.
was, like the cartouche, you know what I'm saying? And then that was of my tribe, of the Igbo nation and the Igbo empire, right?
Right.
So then,
I'm real quick. I
yes,
made
sir.
it. It's the tarbouche. I
The tarbouche.
mispronounced it. Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But the fact of the matter is, the crown, this crown of royalty, and I not getting into the names. I mean, I guess in a way with me, and that's something I'm working on now, is being direct and precise and correct about, this resurrecting of a people, raising of a people back, and restoring us back to our original status.
Right.
That is, that's a big undertaking, and you have to have everything lined up. You got to have people like yourself, you know what I'm saying, that's giving the platform. Because without the media, you can know a lot of information, but without the media, guess what? You're not going to be able to get it out. Radio is good, and radio worked for a long time.
Right.
But to have audio and the visual is a whole nother thing. And the next time that I'm on with you, I'm going to have video, like actual video. I got pictures today,
Yes.
but I'm going to have video the next time. And, we're going to run, and we're going to get through this, because, they say Rome wasn't built in a day. And, the revolution should now be televised, because the revolution is the revolution of the mind. So that can never be televised. You know what I'm saying? You'll see people out demonstrating and protesting, but the revolution in the mind, the resurrection, the movement of the Christos energy going up the spine, that Kundalinian energy going through those 33 vertebrae, going through those 7 to 12 chakras till you get to your crown chakra, and you illuminate. You're illuminating, and your third eye is wide open, and now you're bringing in things as far as what you think is coming in, and it's changing not just how you think, but you may have a physical what do you call this thing? A physical
metamorphosis.
Deformity.
Right.
No. I'm just talking about deformity, and that deformity changes because of the thoughts in your mind. See, we've fallen off. We've fallen off from who we are, as far as our spirituality, as far as our diet, as far as everything about us, and we've fallen off. And we've not just fallen off, but we've changed direction as far as from you've heard this before. It ain't me making this up. Niggas to gods. You know what I'm saying?
That was a great book.
Hey, and that's what happened though. And that needs to be brought out, because now our culture, instead of it being a Moorish culture, it's a niggerish culture. You see what I'm saying? Where you don't care about nobody else. You don't care. Nah. This is what it is. See what I do. You hear it in the raps, the songs. You hear it in the statements that people are saying. You know what I'm saying? And it just ain't so. You know what I'm saying? That's not who we are. The gods have to take over the earth again, and everybody feels that's like the movie The Matrix. And you look at the agents, and they're like, it's the stench, it's that smell. And the thing about it is that stench and that smell is of I don't care, and it's all about me, and it's all about self. We're a collective, we're a family. We gotta come together, and we got a lot of pains, and we need to heal a lot of these wounds. And everybody in order for it to work, everybody's gonna have to at least look towards the same direction,
right? And
then make it work from there.
Question. Did you were you in attendance? Did you view the inauguration today? Did you pay attention to the inauguration?
I did not, but what I'm going to do before we get into publicly on air answering that, I'm gonna talk with you personally first, because because you pushed that question.
Right.
You push that question, right? And I don't want to get into it, because I have from a spiritual context, I have a response, but it may not, it's something that we got to understand from a spiritual context. The people, the family have to be able to understand it, because there's a rationale to all of it. That's all I'm gonna say. But me and you got to talk off the air first, and I'm gonna express it to you. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't want you to be like, oh yeah, bro, yeah, put that, yeah, we need to go ahead. And I'm like, nah, wait a minute, because we all need to be here first in order to understand where I'm coming from with it. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I know I talked and I didn't say anything, but what I'm saying is we got to talk off the air. I'm gonna talk with you, and then we can we can come back and then we can readdress that. I can speak to that, but I just can't speak to that tonight.
Right, because there was some heavy Masonic symbology taking place throughout the whole inauguration. But being that you said that you was not in a, that you didn't watch it and were not privy to the demonstration, I would encourage you to definitely tap in and see what's taking place. Because to be honest with you, I don't know if my memory is intact, but I don't recall Obama and even Biden having an inauguration similar to what I saw today. I don't recall that. I don't recall the things that I was seeing Donald J. Trump doing. I don't recall them doing the same thing. But to hear it, we'll get into that. I told the channel.
There's some numbers based off of the number president that Trump is, the 45th president. There's some numerology that's still part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? There's some spiritual connection there. There's some things that it is a lot of Masonic things that's going on. Things that you saw visually today, but it's also
Right.
some things that you didn't see.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Things that you just have to put together and be like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. All right. 45, 4 plus 5 is 9. There's 9 planets and blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I don't want to get into all of that because what happens now is it needs some explanation, but it needs some maturity to understand, what's going on. What is that number 45? What is the number 9? How does 9 relate in our constellations and our solar system and dealing with the planets and things of that nature? And there's a lot of other pieces there, and there's something bigger at hand or at play that's going on. So
well, I know tonight's conversation that we're going to be having is going to be dealing with, the astronomical, the astronomy, you know what I mean? We're going to be dealing with symbols. We're going to be dealing with signs.
Astronomy,
we're going to be dealing with mathematics.
Symbols,
yes. So let's get into it. You feel me? Let's jump into it. And we will be holding Q&A at the end. Is that cool? Because I do have brothers and sisters in the audience that I probably are sure that they're going to have questions that they want to pose to you.
Okay.
No doubt.
So I've got my brother that should be online. Did
yes.
Israel?
He's in the building. Let me pull him on stage.
All right.
There you go. Can you see the screen, good brother? Can you see the chart?
Yeah. I see the screen. I see it.
Okay.
It was just something on the floor here. I'm trying to move my chair, and
no problem.
It's stopping me from doing that. All right. I'm good.
Yes, sir.
Just it there. All right. All right. I'm ready. Lock and load. All right. So what we're doing here is unveiling. I probably have to change that title later, but unveiling. Unlocking is cool, but I want to say unveiling the astronomical and mathematical knowledge of Masonic symbols.
Before we move forward, yes, is this presentation to dispel the misconception that the public may have about Masonic symbols? Is this a lesson for the uninitiated about
it's all it, you know what? No. Go ahead. I want you to finish it, but I'm gonna respond. Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead.
So it's all of that. It's for the uninitiated. It's for the one that's already traveling, who's already in, and it's for and I'm gonna say the general public, in the sense that we're looking at the what do I want to say? We're looking at it from a Moorish perspective. So if you consider yourself a Moor, then this is your culture. So this is for you. If
Right.
you are uninitiated, which is still, I would say, still, if you call it that uninitiative in the general public, I put that in the same category. Either you're a Moor, this is for a Moor who's practicing Masonry, and this is for a Moor who's not practicing Masonry. That's
Indeed.
who it's for. And someone that might just be just looking in, some of these things may be just irrelevant, especially if you're not a Moor, because then it's not going to, like, what sense is it? You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, I have a very our audience, the KTLians, the students that are in the building, they're very open-minded. They love to learn without, they love a good they love a good lesson, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it could relate to their travels, right? Their quest to know thyself and whatnot. So, the brothers and sisters in the audience are willing to take notes, sit back and learn some things that they may have not known before. So let's go ahead and give them some things. Let's drop some gems on them.
All right, let's do it. Looking here on the first, this typically is not the page that I would start off unlocking, unveiling, or revealing anything right from this particular page.
Right.
But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break this down real quick. All right. So we take a look at this scene or this picture where it is a checkered floor being black and white. And then we take a look at two pillars, where one pillar is on the left and you have another pillar on the right.
Yes.
We have a Bible that's in the middle, and then we have a compass and square with the G in the middle. And then we got these stars in the background and, a sky and the whole 9 yards. All right. And then we got something that's really, you see in that sky, there's like an X, you know what I'm saying? And it's shining or whatever. That's, representing a real bright star. Okay.
Right.
So let's get into that. So let's look, and then in the middle, we have the volume of the sacred law. That's what we actually call that in Masonry, the volume of the sacred law. All right. Looking at the checkered floor is depicting when we look at the from learned, our learned ancestors, we look at the black and white checkered floor as day and night. All right. Equal amount of day and an equal amount of night. That's going to be important when we start, talking. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on this, because in Masonry, this is the first phase or the first stage of it's the foundational when you look at the lodge, having this fundamental two pillars, two globes, the compass and square, all of this is like at a first level. So it's talking about day and night. It's talking about equal distance of day and equal distance of night. We look at that as this is a map for the world, and looking at it from an astronomical
perspective.
Good. Thank you. Perspective. And what happens here is the equal day and the equal night. Let's take a look to help me out a little bit. Because pictures is 1,000 words. It helps you to solidify some stuff. You see that right up underneath the G, you see the square as it's pointing down, and it just happens to be pointing at this X this bright X that's down there, and that and that is in the sky at a certain point, a certain time when the constellations are moving. What ends up happening is you have what's called a galactic cross, and the galactic cross, it depicts 4 seasons, and in those 4 particular seasons, all right, those 4 seasons are talking about the summer, spring, the winter, and the fall. All right. Now, I mentioned equal distance as far as night and day is concerned. So looking at equal night and equal day, we look at what's called equinox. You know, that's giving us the equal night and the equal day at the same time. When we start seeing the sun, we start seeing the sun going through its path, and it's going. Well, first of all, before I even say that, so we have the cross that's there, and as I said again, that's in a way talking about our galactic cross, and we're looking at the 4 seasons because there are 4 points on the cross. Well, technically there are 5 because you have the center in the cross in the middle. There's a point there, but let's just look at the little flares, the edges on the ends of the cross.
In your presentation, do you have it where this symbol is by itself without the words in a way, like on the next page, perhaps?
No, not as far as the concept of the galactic cross. And I just happened to grab that out, and I'm sorry that it's right there, but I like this because the fact of the matter is that's when you look straight ahead, you see like a screen in the background of these 2 pillars. But that screen, and even in the lodge, it represents the universe. It's the universe, so that you can create, you know, and that G is representing geometry, or at least that's one of the expressions for geometry, or the great matriarch, or the great the geometrician of the universe, you know, the God of the universe. All right.
Question.
Yeah.
Can you speak as to why the checkered floor has become demonized in a sense? Like when it comes to people, you know, like I mean, it's stigmatized. Like if there's a rapper who has a checkered floor in their video, or if there's like an artist and they see a checkered floor, anything checkered, it's like, oh my goodness, this is
demonic.
evil. It's you know what I mean? So can you speak to why that may be? Like, why has that taken our culture by storm, to whereas if they see a checkered floor, they assume that there's some type of rituals taking place, you know what I mean, and all kind of other things. The imagination begins to take over.
Well, see, you opening up a can of worms, because see, that ain't even, you know what I'm saying? That's not even part of the presentation. But and I'm saying that because you opening up something now, you know what I mean? So okay, anything, if I do this, if I'm doing this sign right here, hold on, I gotta get it. If I'm doing this here, that, you know what I'm saying? That realistically, you know, and there's nothing that's connected to it per se, as far, but it's like a star, you know what I'm saying? If you take a look at stars, you know what I mean? This is doing, you know, having this. Of course, this is saying square. I got to get myself back into the, but looking at it from this standpoint right here, you know, that if you take a look at some stars, you'll see a star formation or a star group, not even a formation, just a star, a single individual star in the sky. It will look like what I'm doing right now. It would a star, a star. I'm not talking about every star, but a star. So any type of the compass and square with the G. Sometimes it'll have a goat. Sometimes it'll have a goat in there, whatever. even the goat itself, all of that is saying that there's some type of is demon, is evil or whatever. When we talk about ritual, so yes, it is a ritual. You're absolutely right. It is a ritual. So I'm glad for whoever it is that asked you that question, or if you asking that question, because it is a ritual. And so when we look at ritual, we look at writ or arithmetic. So that's looking at math. You have to do math in order for you to be dealing with, that's the etymology of ritual. You have to be doing, it comes out to arithmetic or a number. So you have to be doing math or some type of numbers, and in the lodge in the ancient days, the workmen, and I'm not talking about ancient days 1700. I'm talking about 600 BC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In the lodge, what was actually happening is you had the workmen, and they had their trestle boards, their notebooks, and what they were doing is they were doing high level calculations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Numbers, rituals, writs. They were doing that. So yeah, they were doing rituals. And as we move around the ritual was just solving equations. 2 + 2 is 4. You know what I'm saying? 3 × 2 is 6. So yes. So and from an astrological standpoint, ritual, the black and white talks about, and we speak of this in the lodge, it talks about the perils of there's good and evil in life. There is hardship and harmony. You know what I'm saying? There is a duality. And that duality is positive and it's negative.
Right.
Again, we take that back to math. You know what I'm saying? Because when we deal with integers, we have positive integers and we have negative integers. See, with our culture, what can actually happen, especially if you don't know, you can go ahead and start using this information as something negative. And you can say, oh, yeah, well, yeah, I see this compass and square with the goat instead of the G, and you don't know what that is. Again, we're talking about fertility. When we start looking at the goat, we look at the horns. You know what I'm saying? That those horns are talking about agriculture. It's talking about cornucopia. It's talking about a horn of plenty. It's talking about harvest of the first fruits. You know what I'm saying? And vegetables. So we look at that for the uninitiative, and even for the unlearned, and even for the person who's in the lodge, they don't know this because it's not taught in the lodge. It's not even that backdrop that you see of the sky and the red, and you see some blue and everything. That again is harmonizing between the good and evil, or there's perils, right? Or also when it getting to orange, that's the sun. That is in the it's a night sky, but the sun is there, and you have that orange or that red almost going into what would be considered like a blood moon in the background. And going into that, that's looking at the actual moon being eclipsed, that's the sun being eclipsed by the moon, and then getting the blood moon, or a kind of an orangish moon that's going on. So that's what you see in the background. But in the lodge, that's the ceiling. That's up top. Just like my ceiling that I have behind me.
Right.
That firmament, that we call it the firmament, that firmament would be up in the ceiling. And then we'd have the different, well, it used to be in the ceiling. It's not there anymore. Those 2 pillars right there, one is Boaz to the left, and then there's Joachim, like looking straight ahead. And to the right is Joachim. What those 2 are talking about in the lodge, we have 2 lines. There are 2 lines on either side, and as we look straight ahead towards that compass and square, although again this is something that's in the sky and we don't see the compass and square, these 2 images are just merged together, whatever the case it is. But there's explanation going on in that firmament that's in the sky, that what we're looking on, it looks like wallpaper that's just flat across the wall, but it's actually up top in the sky. But getting back to those two lines with the circle in the middle, where we take a look at that is we're looking at the summer solstice and the winter solstice and the direction or the path of the sun. Right, this is one of the pillars. So the sun is coming in on a kind of an arc. It's coming in on an arc. It's hitting the line, and then it's coming out of the arc. It's coming down, and then it's coming back. And I know my hands it's making a circle.
Okay.
With the two lines on either side with a point in the middle. Now that deals with time measurement, because we have Stonehenge, and what happens with Stonehenge is you have all of these different stones. You have 12 stones that are going around. Each one of them are reflecting a number, right? They're looking at a number, and they also have a zodiac sign that correlates with them. So you have 12 zodiacs, and you have those 12 numbers. But that's in time taking, because what happens is it's revealing that in a circle, and you look at 12, they're 30 degrees. Each number represents 30 degrees. So 12 times 30 is 360. That's the 360 degrees inside the circle. And when you put that cross in there, I'm trying to make the cross. Yeah, well, there it is. There we go. Get the cross. I've practiced this before now, so you get the cross. And again, that's dividing time into the 4 seasons, right? And you're looking at 90 degrees, 90, 90, 90, 90. 90 times 4 is 360. Now, what's the point behind that is with some of the constellations, and I'll speak of Horus, with that happens, Horus is the hunter, and he's hunting a rabbit with his bow and arrow. And what happens is he is every time he's chasing this hare, and he's pointing when he's down on his back, he's pointing at the hare that's right above him, but it's also pointing at the star Sirius, right? And Sirius has moved up, right? It has moved up right before the sun. So it's going through the helical rising of Sirius, because the helical rising is just something that's moving in conjunction with the sun. So it's moving in conjunction with the sun. But what ends up happening is there's an alignment though that's happening. And Horus, since he's laying down, he has what's called Orion's belt on his it's his belt, Orion's belt. So what happens is Orion's belt is lined up, right? It's lined up with Ceres at when it's there, and that 90-degree move, when it moves.
What time of the year would this be taking place?
At this point, when Ceres is at I guess the northerly point, this would be, I believe, this would be around June, during around the summer solstice. And I've got to verify. I want to make sure that time frame is correct. But and I'm going to come back to that, because that is in the presentation. But what I wanted to do is get out of the way this explanation here of the summer solstice and the winter solstice with Boaz and Joachim on the left and the right, our summer, and then our winter solstice, right? and that circle was happening when we're on the floor, when we're walking around on the floor, and we're going through our supposed rituals, right? Well, it is our rituals, but in the lodge, we don't. What I'm talking about now, never is not in the lodge at all. In fact, we don't even have a firmament no more. Most lodges don't even have that firmament, so you can't make the connection. There's stars. There's the star series. We do have what's called the blazing star, which represents star series. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it's not. We don't make these connections. On the globes, we have the terrestrial and the celestial, which is meaning the spiritual, the earthly, and then the spiritual, right?
So my question to you would be, in this modern day time that we're in, where information has become basically handheld, right? And uninitiated people have this type of understanding times 10. Like the average, the average student out there, the average student in the audience right now, this is like kindergarten in terms of this degree that we were just sharing about Boaz and Joachim, the procession of the equinox, that all of these things. Right. Why would the lodge, where it's assumed that so much wealth of knowledge is held and whatnot, there's degrees that men and women have to climb, both right. in the Eastern Stars and in the lodge and whatnot? Why would this not even be something that they're practicing? Why would they not know this?
Because there's a lot of different reasons. And there can also be some speculation as well. There have been, because of the different lodges throughout the time. Well, first right. of all, it's something that is not known. Let's do it that way first.
Right.
It's not known. So it's not like, worshipful masters and grand masters and past grand masters got this information in a book somewhere and they hiding it. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want to share it with anybody. That's not true. That's not, they don't. I'm just saying they don't know the knowledge. They don't know the knowledge to even conceal the knowledge. They don't have that. Masons don't have, especially during this time. And then you gotta, when I say this time, I'm talking about in the 20th century, 21st century, 19th century. No, that information was not had. It hasn't been had. Now, there were some, though. There were some, I will say this, there were some in its inception of right. the organization of the fraternity of our culture. Remember, this is our culture. This is stolen legacy. They stole our culture, made a fraternity out of it, and said, okay, now we're going to teach you from this. But keep something in mind. This organization was only originally designed for those people of high level, senators, congressmen, presidents. It wasn't for lay people. If you were a millionaire, you're Elon Musk, and I'm just trying to go back 300 years or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Elon Musk and David Morgan and Donald Trump and
the tycoons of that day.
Yeah.
Robber barons
in the 1700s or whatever. That's when the organization was for. And these individuals got together and networked and everything else. That's what that was about. You know what I'm saying? Now, how those individuals who were non-captives, they use the word slaves, but non-captives, and were of a different hue than the hues that we have today. You right. know, the hues that are there now. If it wasn't a pale hue, then you weren't getting, you weren't getting in. You weren't getting in. So that's why they don't teach it, because they don't know it. And the ones that did know it, they stopped that. It's been, like I said, even from the point of the firmament, that's gone. So it's the little bit by little bit. And I don't think a lot of people understand why in the lodge. I don't even understand why the Masons don't even understand why certain things, and they don't even know certain things have been removed from the lodge, and nobody's none the wiser because they don't know. They don't know. They don't know. If you came in less than 30 years ago, you didn't even know that there was a firmament. You didn't even know that.
But you could literally go to the library though and pick up a book by, let me see, I don't know, Secret of the Ages, Manly P. Hall, Pascal Beverly Randolph. There's so many people who were putting out arcane knowledge in the 1800s and the 1900s. It's when I read books from the 20s and the 30s and whatnot, I'm kind of blown away by how deep they were. And they didn't have access to the internet and things of that nature. They were very well studied. So it just kind of blows me away that Prince Hall Masons and other Masonic groups, Scottish and York, they claim to not know certain things when, like I said, the average student out here has a lot of information at their disposal. Like, I don't know. But we could continue. Let's go to the next slide, please.
All right, yeah, let's go to the next slide. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. All right. So again, we were talking about the pathway of the sun, right? How the sun moves. And this one here is a movement of the sun in grids, where you can go through and see, how it's, just really its path, you know what I'm saying? How it's moving around. And that's good. Yeah. That it's gotten a little bigger. But for this particular chart here, what we're looking at is the sunrise. The sun is rising in the east and it's setting in the west. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it's really, this one is just depicting how much light is being given. So as the light of the sun, as the sun is rising up to its highest point, of course, that's when you got the most amount of light. So that's really what we're talking about here, and again, it's saying it's shooting this azimuth, it's shooting this point along the horizon, and it's just showing how the sun is doing more light. Now in Masonry, what happens, the reason why I picked this slide is because we look at the question, what are you looking for while you're in the lodge? What is the whole purpose? What's your aim? You're looking for more light. Now, more light means more knowledge. You want to have more knowledge. That goes back again to the point where, why is it that those folks who are not even in the lodge, why do they have the it seems like the keys to the city, and the folks that's in the lodge don't have those same keys to the city, meaning the knowledge or meaning the light, you know what I'm saying, or more light. And again, because it's been structured in a way where the light that you're given or that you're getting is light as far as what the rituals are that are being given. You know what I'm saying? So and the ritual doesn't really tell you anything that deals with proper correlations or proper understanding or even application. Right. There's nothing that you can do. It's a connection, and you can get some grips, and some signs, and we communicate amongst one another. But when it gets down to applying mathematical or astronomical principles, nah, that's not what I mean from a I'm not saying that there's no math at all being applied in the lodge. No, I mean, you know, we ain't just sitting on a log, but at the same time, getting into astronomy and getting into mathematics, nah, that's not the that ain't how we doing that in the lodge. I mean, that's just what it is. So we can go on to the next, slide, but that's, you know, that's just not what it is. And here, so you remember how I was talking to you about the
laying down with the arrow,
well, a whole bunch of stuff.
Belt. Right.
You know, the cross, the galactic cross.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's that right there. You know, so
what we know as Christmas, right?
We know, So during the Christmas time, we look at during Christmas time, and I'm not gonna belabor this point right here, you know, because we out of Christmas, so I'm gonna move swiftly from there. But there's a couple of things that's important to kind of take a look at. So what does this 4-picture thing indicate here? First of all, we take a look at I'll just go with the sun. Let's look at the sun. All of this is talking about the sun, by the way. Let me say that, get that out the way.
I think we could, that's made very plain by the imagery. You know,
it's made plain. It's made plain, but it needs a little bit of explanation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just a little bit, because here's what's happening though. So what happens here is we see the sun. Let's actually go the top left where you see an arrow at right now, like you see the pointer, whatever, you know. You see that?
3 kings and Sirius, birth of God.
No. Okay, all right, my bad. So there's an arrow. Maybe it was captured in the picture itself that had the top left. Yeah, the top left, right? Okay. So that top left. And then as it goes diagonal to the Southern Cross, right? Okay, so those two, what happens is, number one, you see the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th. You see that on both of those 2 pictures, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what happens is that is the apparent death. It's hidden, right? It's hidden for 3 days. So as the sun, remember those 2 pillars that I talked about, right?
Boaz and Joachim. Yeah.
Boaz, I'm just trying to look at it from the screen. Yes. Boaz and Joachim, right? All right. Now, looking at these 2 lines, and we're going to get to that in the lecture. The sun goes around. It's kept what we call is kept in due bounds. So we say as Masons, we say, you know, circumscribe your actions, you know, and make sure that you're in due bound. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you don't, you know, there's boundaries. So you can't go too far over here. You can deal with somebody, but just make sure that somebody is not somebody's wife, or make sure that somebody is not somebody that's 12 years old, or make sure that whatever it is that you're doing, keep within their limits, and there's bounds. So you got to stay within these parameters. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your movement is, stay within here. Because when you go outside of here, that's when you're messing up. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's from the astrological standpoint, where you're being communicated to as a Mason and saying this is what we teach in the lodge. However, but now looking at it from the astronomical standpoint, what happens is you have that's one connotation of the pillars, but the other connotation is you have 2 lines. You have 2 pillars. You have Boaz and you have Jocham, and that is the summer solstice, and you have the winter solstice, right? So the winter solstice, that's actually down here. There's Jocham here, and then you got Boaz here. So here, Boaz, we're talking about June the 21st. And down here, we're talking about in the winter solstice, we're talking about December the 21st. All right.
Okay.
And what happens is, remember how we were saying the two? So the pillars now, instead of them being like this, they're like this.
Right.
Boaz and Jocham, summer solstice, winter solstice, right?
Like the equator or as above, so below type.
Oh, we gonna get to that. That's where the compass in the square comes in. Is as above, so below, right? As a man or woman think of, there's so many, it's principles. So as a man or woman thinketh, so is he or she. You know what I'm saying? What is in the heavens also must abound on earth. So if it's in your mind itself can control your physical body. Not just go right, go left, go upstairs, go downstairs, move your finger, close your eyes, open. No, it also can change even if you got a tumor. You can, your thoughts, and see, that's why we got to know, we got to get into our culture and know our culture. It's more than just wearing some doggone hat and some clothes and all this. No, it's deep.
What is it?
What
is it? What is our culture that we have to get into?
The culture that we have to get into is the mathematics, it's the agriculture, it's the science, it's the realization of our God self. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta we really just have to unravel it, because the strong spiritual piece of it don't know culture have. You know what I'm saying? Like when I say no culture, none of us, no matter if we're in Al-Kebalan or Ethiopia, and really that's the foundation. We don't have it. It's just, we can't, to the deep part, to really getting into the deep mysteries and the sciences of who we are. We haven't even scratched the surface of it, because we don't even know it yet. You know what I'm saying?
But
so we can't
you said
there.
Hold on. If it's a mystery, right?
Well, it ain't a mystery. All right. Okay.
No. I'm just saying, if there are groups out there in Al-Kebalan or whatever, and they're private, they're keeping it as a mystery, right? But they're still getting this information. You wouldn't know, I wouldn't know, and the public wouldn't know about it, because it's in secrecy.
It's in secrecy, yeah. Well, and you know what? Part of that I'm gonna say is true, and the other part of it I'm gonna say is not true. And the reason why I say that is because when you get into science, you know, when you get into really being able to work science, it's a basic fundamental thing. You just have to learn the levels of it. Like for my thing is, I teach math. I'm a math teacher, and learning the basics of it, you know what I'm saying? You got to build up and get higher and higher and higher. Of course, you go through counting, skip counting, stuff like that. Then you start going to what is the true zero underneath the measurement of a curve. And in that, you start dealing with derivatives and differentiation when you start looking at calculus, you know. So the fact of the matter is, that's cool. That gets you the sciences, but it's when you get into the spiritual, when you get into deep spirituality, the meditations and opening up and unlocking chakras and really being able to have your mind to focus on something and it be able to change your physical stature. That's when you are getting, and for those who are able to do that, that's on a basic level, you know what I'm saying, for them. But for the average person, that could take you a lifetime to get to that level of meditation. But it is some people in secret that are doing some of these things or whatever the case it is, but it ain't that secret because you can get you an organization on your own and you can start building something and start doing something, you know, and you know, it ain't hard to get into, you know, doing that. You just have to keep on elevating. You got to get that information, and you can start with meditation. You could start with, there are different things that you can actually start with. You know what I'm saying? But there is knowledge that's far deeper than what we can even
Imagine.
Yeah, it's yeah, fathom. It's yeah, and it's deep, and that's why those who are running the world and that are really, when we get into our culture, it's deep. It's more. That's why I've said it's more than food and songs and dances and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It goes a lot deeper. It goes a lot deeper, and we have to get to that. I mean, go ahead.
Are you saying that in the lodge, because the lodge is known for food, dancing, barbecues, you know? Are you saying that
well,
in these
I'm saying, yeah, the lodge, of course, but no, I'm talking specific. Well, I don't say no, but the lodge, but I'm also talking about us. I'm talking about us. You know what I'm saying? You know, Moors or those of us who are part of Al Kabbalah. I mean, just us all together. Like we gotta go deeper. Now the lodge, you have two different groups as far as lodges are concerned. You have, and I'm just going to use these terms. I'm going to throw them out there, but this is not basically my belief. This is not my belief. I'm just going to use this term, you know, just so I can get the masses of people on board with this. So we have the black lodges and we have the white lodges. I'm just going to say it. We say it our way. We say that it is, or we'll say black lodges and mainstream lodges. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What's the blue
now?
lodge?
The lines are being very skewed right now because now before 50, 40, 60, 30 years ago, 100 years ago, they were not letting mainstream, or the white lodges were not letting black folks in at all.
So you would say the Scottish and the Yorkish, the Yorkites and the Scottish.
No, what I'm speaking of is the mainstream.
Okay,
the black lodge, in the black lodge. So I'm saying mainstream, so the white lodge and the black lodge. And I hate to use those particular words.
Yes.
But you know, and we will say Albion's, that their lodge, and then we'll say the Moorish lodges. You know what I'm saying? So those would be the two that we're looking at. You know, and in the Albion's lodges, they know they're more closer to our culture than we are as far as what it is that they teach in the lodge. Okay. They go through the same ritual, everything that I had to do in order to get my fares or whatever the case it is. They had to go through the same thing, right?
Right.
But the issue is what they talk about in the lodge room or they give lectures on. I mean, it ain't even on the same planet, man. It ain't even. It's like the distance that we are here from Earth to the sun or Jupiter or something.
In the history of melanated men walking in those lodges, because there's peoples whose granddaddies, uncles, fathers, you know, I'm just saying next of kin, there's a lot of people who were lodged up back in the days and kept it a secret. So you mean to tell me all of those great men, there was none of them amongst them who were like an El Malik Shabazz who was illuminated, who rose to the top, the cream rising to the top? There was nobody that was like a light, whose light shined and was able to teach others, you know?
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it was. It was.
Okay.
It was. But here's the thing, though. What you have to take a look at is what was the condition of our people to those individuals who came in, right? And who did that. And then what's the condition of our people? So in other words, what's happening now? Like you got to look at it from a result based situation. What is, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like what's the condition of our people? Where are we at? Where are we at spiritually, financially? Where are we at as far as, our culture is concerned? Where are we at as far as our land, our resources? Where are we at as far as the restoration of our people? Like who we are? Where are we at?
I would say, and others would say, that the Masons who are in close proximity to other Masons who are in power, who are the ones who took the information and housed the information, they would indict the melanated Masons to say that they are the ones holding us back because they had the opportunity to do all of those things that you're asking, like build institutions, like build on land, have access to real estate when it was dirt cheap, come together, make power moves, right? Now, the condition, you're in Chicago. I would say when you look at Chicago back in the days when Noble Drew Ali was moving through there, when Jeff Fort was moving through there, when different organizations were moving through there who were doing a lot of community work, like the Panthers and whatnot under Fred Hampton, even though we know that some of those people were taken out, right, and they were neutralized and whatnot, where are their students at? Like, why didn't others come and pick up where they may have faltered, right? So I would say that our culture may not be in the best shape because of secret societies and quote unquote secrets that are being held from us, and the fact that the people who are the profane and whatnot, they were just kind of like pushed to the side, right? And then there was an evolution or a revolution that took place in the last 50 years, I would say, where the brothers in the streets from the Nation of Gods and Earth, from the Nation of Islam, right? Different lecturers, people like Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who they just pardoned today, Elijah Muhammad and other people, Dr. Malachi Z. York, I could go on. These teachers came amongst the uneducated and the quote unquote, our people, and they rose them up out of this state of being quote unquote dumb, deaf, and blind. They were in the trenches and they were given the information, and they raised up a group of scholars. They raised up scholars. They raised up very wise brothers and sisters who became hip hop artists, and then became they became contemporary artists. All kind of things started taking place, right? We know our conditions, but we can't necessarily write off those amongst us in our communities who have the light. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's an open-ended question, but I would say, I would ask if you were asking that question, I would have to ask you, what is the largest responsibility, and what are the Masonic brothers' responsibility and the Eastern Star's responsibility for doing the same question that you just asked me? This MLK Day, was MLK a Mason? To your knowledge?
To my knowledge, no. But I couldn't see. I would say I couldn't see how he was not a Mason.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I would find it. Oh, let's do it this way. I would believe. I would not find it hard to believe that he was a Mason. I would not find it hard to believe that. But it's a good possibility. It's a good possibility
It's a
because
lot of information out there pointing that he was. There's a lot of information out there.
Oh, I mean, I'm just looking. I'm looking at the time. I'm looking at the time that he came up,
right,
and the things that he did, and the people who were in play at the time that he and just everything that he did. If it was just an average brother, I'm just saying, he'd have been taken out a long time ago.
I mean, a lot of people use that taken out conversation, and I'm like, certain people get taken out, but then I don't know, like everybody don't get taken out.
Yeah, everybody don't get taken out, but the thing is though, all right. So that's another thing. Let me do this because that's gonna take us on a whole nother.
No, I know that. And I just wanted to add on this. So many people get taken out for less.
That's true. They do. But we talking about was he a Mason? And we're looking at the time during this time that he was in, and he was leading a march, and he was going against. You talking about boycotts? You talking about stopping the flow of money. Now, if you really want to get to the Albion and you want to do something, stop his flow of money and see what happens.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So for somebody doing less, if you ain't doing something but playing basketball and you a Mason, but you a Dr. J or something like that, or Michael Jordan, ain't nobody care about that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing nothing. You're not doing anything. So what? You know what I'm saying? Right. But the people, what should have happened should have been during the civil rights. During that time, Martin Luther King and all of those folks during the 60s, and I'm gonna even throw the 50s into it as well. But the 60s was our civil rights time, specifically within a certain amount of years. You know what I'm saying? But all of the 60s, we'll put it in there. But the fact of the matter is, the civil rights was talking about how to civilly treat people in a civil manner, and we're talking about Black folks. So we're talking about Black people and civil. Where that all is thrown off from is it doesn't have any power or weight or what should have been done from the different people out there who were leaders. The fact of the matter is we should have been dealing with human rights, not civil rights, and we should have been dealing with Moors and not Black people or Black folks. We should have been doing that, because if we did that, then you put it on a world stage now, and you look at a nation of people, right? And then you could say, all right, now we're dealing with Moors. We're dealing with the Moors, and we're dealing with human rights. So now this brings it on a national scale now. And, we're dealing with the empire. We have treaties that are in place to protect us as far as our resources, our land, our movement, the whole 9 yards. We were talking about the wrong group of people. We said Black folks versus Moors, and we were talking about civil rights versus human rights. So that
but are Masons, just based on the oath, are they allowed to even have those conversations in public? Are they allowed to put that jacket on to say that, you know what I mean?
So
and
no,
if that is the case,
you know what? No, they not. Okay. They not. So no, I'm gonna say no, because what specifically as Masons, what happens is you toe the line, you follow the system.
Right. You're not bigger than the program.
You got to follow the program, right?
Right.
You follow the program. Now, there's nothing in no ritual book or none of your degrees that say, hey, you got to toe the line and blah, 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 so and so, so and so. But that's what happened. That's what it is. You got to toe the line. You got to toe the line, and you got to follow the regiment. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't follow the regiment, you don't move up. In fact, it gets worse. it's not better for you, it's worse. You know what I mean?
Let us continue in the presentation.
Yeah,
I don't mean to
all
cut your
right,
knowledge
yeah.
because
So
I know we have slides. I don't want to.
yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. So realistically, here's just what happens. We have the galactic cross that's at the bottom right corner. And that again is indicating the 4 seasons. But we also can take a look at something there. Not that this is this is not what this is representing, but I just want to give you a visual, and then I want you to tie the concept. I don't want to take it, miss the concept a little bit here. But what
Okay.
happens though is the top point right there on this galactic cross top point, we take a look at that as the summer solstice. Not that this is the way it reads when you see the galactic cross, but this is just something that's put to mind when I'm looking at this particular cross. I'm looking at these 4 points as a circle. If I had to draw a circle around this cross, and I would say the summer solstice, June 21st, is up top. At the bottom is the winter solstice, December the 21st. And either side, you have the 2 equinox. So let's say the left side over here, you have what's called the vernal equinox, which is March the 21st. And then you come over on the other side of the cross, and then that's the autumnal equinox, and that's September the 21st. Looking at this particular 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, this is the sun that's hiding or is dying. You really wouldn't be able to see the sun. So in this picture, you see the sun, and I guess that's showing that the sun is going down, because during the 22nd through the 24th, you don't see the sun, and that's what makes it like an apparent death. Now, when we look on the other kind of diagonal, we see December the 25th. That is when the sun now comes out of his tomb or come out of his burial, and now is resurrecting. So the sun, the resurrection that we're looking at, the SUN, is in the December the 25th is when the sun starts going back up. So in June the 21st and the summer solstice, it is at its highest peak, its highest level. The sun is at its highest point, and then it starts going down. Right, it starts going down. If we look at the right side of that cross and looking almost towards the edge of the picture, the sun is going in a arc. It's a semicircle. It's going around 180 degrees, complete turn from June the 21st to December the 21st, and it's going down 180 degrees, and that is when it goes to its lowest declination on the 21st. It dies from the 22nd, 23rd, and the 24th, and then after that, it starts rising back up. And as it starts rising back up, you see that on December the 25th, and then it shows again in the night sky when you see the birth of God's son, SUN, at the winter solstice, because it was just leaving the 21st, which was the winter solstice, and then it started going back up. And you see this real bright star. You see 3 stars up top. That's Orion's belt, the 3 kings. And then you see this other star that's down here that's real shining. The shiniest, the brightest star is star Sirius. And that is the star in the east. So yeah, that's the explanation of this chart. And I don't know, we started talking, so I'm gonna be quiet a little bit here, and I'm just gonna move through, and I'm gonna get through these charts real quick.
For anybody in the audience, I'm sorry to cut your wisdom. If there are questions, because I don't want to assume that everybody is fully understanding everything that they're hearing tonight. Questions will be at the end. Just make sure that you write them down. Don't write it in the chat right now, because you will not be answered. Just write it down, put it on a piece of paper, or just have it on your cap. And when we wrap this up, we'll do the Q&A. Let's continue, please.
Right. And what I want to say is there's a couple of things real quick with the on the question. Let's keep the questions geared towards the lecture, based off the lecture. And then the other thing is I'm sure there's some questions that you have that you'd like to ask me, and we can also do that towards the end. So all right, let's go to the next. Let's go to the next slide. All right. So here, like I said, I just want to make sure that this point is really stressed. So looking on the left side, there's two pictures, one on the left, one on the right. The one on the left is talking about the summer solstice. As far as let's talk about this right here. So, and I'm going to read this out. Now, if you know the position of the winter and summer solstice, as we see, the three stakes, this is you being able to demonstrate, what it is that you are able to, what you're learning or what you're seeing. How can you actually demonstrate this? So there's some application that we want to actually talk about as well. So if you know the position of the winter and summer solstice, the three stakes, the central stake being the one in the middle, and the two solstice stakes, one up top, the summer solstice, one at the bottom is the winter solstice. You can be, the stakes can be used to determine the position of true east. So if you were trying to find east or west, right? In this particular case, east, the rising of the sun, what you would do is have three stakes. The central stake is in the middle, and this gives a little bit more clarity of it on the right side. At least it gives you a little picture, gives you this, you draw a circle, and then you would have a central or origin, a midpoint, in the middle of the circle, and then you'd have the two stakes, each forming a 45-degree slant from the middle stake to the other stake, right? And then you would draw, well, first of all, you could draw a straight line from that point, kind of making a radius. So you have the stake in the middle, and then you have this radius where you go from the center, and then you go over to the edge, the arc of that particular circle, just a straight line, right? And then now you can do 45 degrees. You measure with a compass. You measure 45 degrees, and then you can shoot a line with a yardstick or something of that nature, making sure it's on an angle. Or you could take like a giant. They do have in the workman tools. They do have giant, maybe like 20-foot right angles, 45, 90 angles, 30, 60, 90 angles. In this particular case, you could use either one. You could use a 45, 90, because the 90 degrees is going to sit right on top of that line, on that line that you drew from the center stake to the edge, to the arc of that particular circle. And then you put the angle right there and you draw that slant. And then after that, you flip it over, do a reflection. You flip that triangle over, keeping the 90 degrees on that line, right? On that center line that you have from the center point to the arc. And then you flip that over, and then you're going to draw your slant this way, you know what I'm saying? Back to the center point. And then that way, when as the sun is coming up, what it's going to do is due east. It's going to have that line, you know what I'm saying? And you'll be able to plot and see, okay, here's my due east, and then here's my summer solstice, and winter solstice based off the 45-degree angle. So all of that can be measured. And the reason why we did that, the reason why we actually would use the, and this goes into when we looked at that floor, that checkered floor, where it was white and black. This is letting us know when to plant. This is letting us know when to harvest. And inside that center point, there's that angle that's formed there at the arc of the circle, the ridge, the outer part of the ridge. That is where you would see the 90 degrees resting on that straight line. But if you go all the way back from that straight line and you go to the center of that circle, then you have a 30-degree angle. So it's a 30-degree angle from that point, the base of that triangle, and then that slant. So from the base and then the actual slant, as I'm forming right now with my palm and my tip of my finger, that is the 30-degree angle. The one at the very top of the tip of my hand right here, that's where, if I extend it further, that's where the 60-degree angle comes. And if I went straight down, then that's the 90-degree angle. So it's a 30, 60, 90, and that's on both sides. And then that's how you would actually get your, that's how you would, kind of look at your summer and then your winter solstice. And that's how you would actually put your stakes down. So you start with the center, all right? And then after that, you draw your line, the base going to the arc, to the edge. And then after that, you would go ahead, put the triangle down. Then you draw your, you give your slant in there. You put a summer solstice and then winter solstice, or whatever the case it is. And that's just for you taking a look at the, finding the time as far as your equinox is concerned, because that's also dealing with your spring equinox, So that, and I know that was wordy, but I needed to throw that in, and just get that going. So it says, do you see how much the above hinge looks like a threshing floor? Well, that might be kind of, pushing it a little bit, but if you could see that, if you were using the threshing floor as a solar observatory rather, and if you mark the solstice points with 2 sticks, your threshing floor would look like this. So that's inside. They're saying now inside the lodge that if you wanted to look at it as a solar observatory, inside coming in from the window or something like that, or whatever the case it is, because again, this is work that was being done in the lodge during the ancient days, or whatever the case it is. So again, this is still part of the work and dealing with application, but this also can be done outside in the grass, in the whole 9 yards, and kind of work towards that, because you need to harness that light, the light that's coming in. You need to be able to harness that light so that you can see something on the floor. But that's how you would do it if you were, doing it on your own. You would set it up like that. Yep.
All right. Next slide.
All right. Next slide. Yep. All right. Now here's where I was talking about before, when we were talking about Boaz and Joachim. Boaz here, Joachim here, and then you have the circle that's going around. That's the path of the, and then also that's us doing the same thing that we just saw with the stakes, with the 3 stakes, or whatever the case it is. Looking at the winter solstice and the summer solstice, or I'll turn it around and say the summer solstice to our left, winter solstice to our right, Boaz and Joachim, and then the circle going around in the
that's the sun's orbit, which is the circle, the sun's orbit.
Sun's orbit. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's
cool.
Movement. And then that's the winter and the summer solstice. So as you can see, as the sun is moving around, it's getting different touch points, right? So you have the left side, you're doing the summer solstice, the right side, you're doing the winter solstice, and then the sides that you don't have anything, that's your equinoxes. With due, in this particular case, due east and due west would be your your equinoxes, right? So
Yes.
here we have a little writing here. We have some words. In Freemasonry, the symbol of two parallel lines with a point within a circle representing the concept of a Mason staying within boundaries. Remember, this is the astrology of it now. We go into astrology. We just don't go into astronomy. Boundaries of morality and virtue with the point representing the individual Mason, right? Now, this is lodge talk right here. This is lodge stuff right here.
Okay.
This is not dealing with the actual summer and winter solstice. It's not dealing with the astronomical in the lodge. Outside the lodge, we could talk about that. You know what I'm saying? And in a lot of cases, non-Masons are having this conversation. All right. But from the astrological standpoint, this is representing the Masons, the circle representing the limits that they should not cross, remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then while the parallel lines often symbolizes the patron saints of Freemasonry. In Masonry, we have the St. John the Baptist, and then we have St. John the Evangelist, signifying that adhering to their teachings, right? The two saints that a Mason cannot err. You know, that's based off of, you know, just the philosophy of, you know, hey, St. John the Baptist and St. John the Evangelist. On June the 24th, this is what we celebrate St. John's Day. But the biggest thing that we and that's important. But the biggest thing that we should know is that this is our looking at it from the astronomical concept. We're talking about the seasons, and we're talking about the seasons because we're talking about planting and we're talking about timekeeping and things of that nature. So,
okay.
You know, let's move on. Let's go to the next one. All right, the same thing, and again, this is bringing the point home. We look at the. I'll go to the bottom right first. Is looking at the summer and the winter solstice from the sky, from looking at it from the sky. What's happening is in the summertime, June 21st, as we are at the extreme north in the sky is the summer solstice, and that's going straight up. What's happening is we're looking at this particular angle. As the angle is going down, we're starting to approach. That's when the sun is going through its lowest point of declination, or its lowest point of light, of bringing light, and it's going down. All right. Above that, and it's approaching the winter solstice. It's not there yet. I mean, it's far beyond it, because the winter solstice is we start entering into the we approach the winter solstice at December the 21st, and then it starts going back up, coming back around, and it's going back up towards the summer solstice again. But that's what that one is showing. Up top above that on the right side, what's actually happening is the same thing again. Is looking at the actual height, what the maximum height is during June the 21st. So it's really just kind of looking at that, and it's looking at the angles that are being formed, as far as looking at the height. So when you see the particular height of the sun, and you look at what degree it is and how many inches or feet or whatever it is, again, that's still looking at planting. That's still looking at, well, when do we plant? When do we harvest, and things of that nature. So that's just a little scale, informational scale as far as what's going on, as far as the height is concerned, and what's the movement and things of that nature, in order for us to figure out timekeeping. On the left side, it just gets into a little bit more explanation. It does a circular. The blue line with the arrow is just talking about the from this, I want to say 270 degree move, almost 270, maybe 245 degree move on this blue right here that we see with the arrow. It's about 245 degrees. And then there's an arrow, local vertical, that's
Right,
going
pointed up.
straight. Yeah, it's pointing straight up, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's a movement as far as the sun is concerned. You see a black line and you see a red arrow that is lifted off of the paper, that four corners, that paper, that black line is lifted up. It's lifted up on a slant, right?
Yes.
And there is a red, not red. Well, yeah, there's a red. So that's what we call angle theta. So it's 90 degrees from the ground. It's 90 degrees from the ground. All right. So it's almost a square. Because that, if we drew a line from that local vertical and we went straight across, to that perforated line that's coming up from the base where the sun is. Yep, that line. No, the other line. Yep, right. Come over again by the sun. Yep, right there. That perforated line or that broken up line. If there were another line to draw over to the local vertical, right? Because that line is going up too. That broken line and that black line are meeting at 60 degrees. That's meeting at 60 degrees. That green arrow, that green arrow is 30 degrees coming up. So it's like a triangle. Let's see if I can do a triangle. So it's a triangle, right? It's a triangle. It's a 90 degrees, not an equilateral triangle, but it's a 90 degree triangle. Yep. And equilateral would mean that all three sides are the same degree, right? And actually it's 60 degrees for all three. But this one is a 30, 60, 90. It's 30 degrees from the measurement in the green. And it's 90 degrees from just the base going back up the height. The height is going up. This is the what do you call this thing? The height. And then this right here is the base. So from that height and base is forming a 90 degree angle. Those are perpendicular lines, and perpendicular lines form right angles. So now you have that. And then you look at it, and you see that slant, that black line where the sun is. We're mapping the sun, and the sun is going down, and it's going to eventually, what's going to end up happening with that sun is the sun is going to actually, the sun has gone from north to south. So that sun is right there. Maybe with the location of that sun could be at 30 degrees. It's not quite actually, to be honest with you. It just passed the it passed the solstice. It passed the winter solstice.
Okay.
In fact, I take that back. Let me not say that. It's going towards, it's passing summer solstice, and it's going towards it's starting its path now to go to winter solstice. Yep, it's going on this path to winter solstice, because from the north to the south was the summer solstice to the winter solstice, and now it's passing from the summer solstice, and now it's going it's starting to make its trek or its pathways back to the winter solstice. So that's kind of it's giving an illustration. It could be confusing if not understood, but that's really what it's doing. That's what's going on. And the reason why all of this is important, the math and the model and the imagery, the imagery is because, again, this was based off of you trying to figure out, how do you plant? When do you plant? When do you harvest? Yes. You know what I'm saying? So
I have there's gardeners in the chat room who are, this is something that they're relating to.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because because I like gardening. I like, you know what I'm saying? I like getting it in. And there's something, I just gotta throw it out there. I got to. There's a and the gardeners may notice that you have greenhouses. You can have a big greenhouse inside your apartment or whatever. Your not your apartment, your house out in the, I don't know where you're gonna put it at. You wouldn't put it in the garage, but you have a greenhouse. But there's something now that you can do in your home, and I don't have one yet, but I'm gonna have it by the next time.
Gardens, vertical gardens.
It's okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, all right. So let's move on. I'm sorry. I'm just.
And we gotta speed it up too, because we are at the 2-hour mark, and
okay.
Yeah. I know you got a lot of slides.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna run through real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of this is redundant, but I wanted to bring this particular point home because it's important. All right, let's go ahead. Let's run real quick. Let's run.
Yes, we appreciate that.
A lot of time. All right, this is talking about the winter and the summer solstice, and it's just kind of going into the angles and how we would actually what happens at noon and what happens, at the different time the sun is due north of your position. So you align the hour hand with the sun, and the 12 o'clock position is due south. And again, this is still just mapping time as far as when you're going to plant and things of that nature, and it's timekeeping. I mean, it's both of those at the same time. So we can go ahead. It's just giving you different angles. Again, this is giving you the solstices, the sun's position during the summer solstice and the winter solstice. I really don't like it a lot. This particular slide, I'm gonna start getting rid of this one, because what happens is it does give information. The two pillars, Joachim or Boaz and Joachim, the point within the circle, the laying out of the cornerstone or the keystone, St. John's Day, and the astronomical markers for the summer and the winter solstice. So again, like what I want to just point out is you have the summer solstice that would be north, and you have the winter solstice that would be south, and then you have the east and the west that are the equinoxes. So this is not the best picture of it, and this will probably be the last day that I use this particular slide. But let's go ahead. All right, now here, and these are all flat surfaces, right? These are all flat planes or whatever the case it is, because it's two-dimensional. It's the length and the width. We're looking at it on a piece of paper. It's not anything that's blown up, but this right here gives the illusion of volume, a length, a width, and a height. You have the equator. You have the line that's going around, that blue line that's gives you the north, the west, and the south, and the east. So that's giving you that. On the east and the west, is giving you the west. It's talking about the March and September. Those are the equinoxes. And then when you start looking at June and December, those are the solstices. The Earth is on a wobble, so it's a 23.5. It's a positive, negative 23.5 as far as the wobble is concerned. As Earth is rotating, then you have this particular wobble. So that's pretty much what that's talking about. Let's move on. And that's the individual that's just standing there. Same thing. It's the same thing again. A person who's looking You know, there's certain degrees, things that are turning, but you know, and then we look at the navigation. You got the what do you call these guys? You have those who are on ships, and you also have those in the plane. They're looking at the navigation, and they're looking at how their compass is actually, you know, the boat compass is actually turning, and
Right.
because of calculations, they're able to see where they're going, what direction, how much time they've spent, and things of that nature. So all of this stuff is important things as far as time travel and harvesting and planting and navigating and all of that. So this is very important because, you know, there's one point that you made. How can you say this type of stuff? How can we do this when we didn't have the technology, and this is 1,000 years ago and all this other stuff? Well, this was the
I
high
said
level.
that.
You did say that, right?
No, I didn't.
You didn't say, okay. All right. Well, this is how we were able to actually do that. We were able to do this because this is the type of knowledge and learning that we were going through. In fact, our schools, colleges, high schools, and stuff like that, they're just really dumbing us down because you know, typically at 12 or 14 years of age, the knowledge that they're teaching us in college, even today, this is something that we would have had before 21, you know, 22 or 25. So
yeah, I went on the record saying that if you look at the sacred geometry of thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, it's more divine than what you may see today. If you read books from the 1500s and the
indeed,
16 and 1700s, the you know, all of the formulas that were being and all of the speculation that's written down, it far exceeds what people are reaching today with the TikTok knowledge and whatnot. So I'm of the understanding that we were a lot wiser. Let me not even bring up the pyramids, you know, let me not bring up Machu Picchu and all of that. So you know, we kind of like these days we're searching for something that was lost in terms of our knowledge base.
And that's true. That is true. You're absolutely right. We are searching for what is lost in masonry. We have that same concept. You know, we're searching for
some people would say they hiding it in the lodge, but you said that they don't got the light.
not the light as far as how to build a society. No.
Right.
No.
Okay.
How to bring someone from a scientific standpoint, how to bring you up. No, how to resurrect you, because that's the whole thing. It's about the resurrection,
of the fallen.
Ain't got that, bro.
Right.
No. I'm just being honest. I mean, 100%. So, you know,
would you say that the Moors have it? And
the Moors do.
As you travel through the Moorish paradigm, would you say that you've encountered that?
Yes and no. It depends on your study.
Yes.
Because we've got fragmented groups out here of Moors.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We have conscious Moors, we have unconscious Moors.
Yeah, I didn't say MSTA. You feel me?
No, I just said no. I didn't say
that net.
I said conscious and unconscious. So that's where we are.
Of course, definitely.
Yeah.
Of course. Like you said, duality, right?
We gonna have to build, man, offline, bro, because it's you throwing a lot of pokes, you throwing a lot of stuff out there. And I'm like, man, I can't answer that right now because it's gonna take us in a whole different direction. And I already ate up.
I didn't get the disclaimers. I didn't know. You feel me? Because on this channel, we go, you know what I mean? Like
no,
and
that's cool. But I know we have a timeline, and I said, man, I want to sit down with you and get some stuff out or whatever the case it is. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry.
Okay.
Abdullah, I'm gonna get your number or something, man. So all right, let's go ahead. Let's move on. I'm gonna try and expedite this. All right. So here's a couple of key points that just we want to be able to know. I don't know if anyone's taking anything down as far as notes are concerned, but just try and, you know, this is being recorded, I believe, and you got to go back and look at it. You know, so as we discussed, and many of you probably already know, but if you didn't, now you got something else extra that you can deal with. The Earth axis is represented by this angle, the symbol, which is approximately 23.5 degrees. All right. Latitude, the geographic latitude on Earth is denoted by psi. The declination, the sun's declination, which is an angular position north and south of the celestial equator, is equal to plus or minus 23.5 degrees at the solstice. And then calculating the sun's maximum altitude angle at a solstice, the formula for maximum altitude is equal to 90 degrees minus 5 plus the actual angle, the angle of the solstice, angle of the sun, and then the declination, the sun's declination plus 23.5 for summer solstice and negative 23.5 for the winter solstice. Again, we're in that formula, we're including the Earth's wobble. I'm unable to. So important considerations. The last point, the last point. Okay, all right, yeah, good. All right, so that's out of the way. So spherical geometry, for more precise calculation, of course, you would need spherical geometry to account for the curvature of the Earth's and the celestial spheres. Because when we look at just regular, geometry, Euclidean geometry deals with angles. So when we deal with spherical trigonometry, we have to actually get into the actual curvature of the actual Earth, in this sphere, because that's how we are able to calculate our dimensions based off the curvature. And then the other thing is seasonal variation. The sun's declination changes throughout the year, meaning that the maximum altitude of the sun varies with the seasons, reaching a peak at the summer solstice and its minimum at the winter solstice. Just knowing that the highest point of elevation for the sun is the summer solstice on June 21st, and the lowest is on December 21st. All right. We can move on from here. All right, mathematical calculations that are, a little bit more simplified. So the altitude is equal to 90 degrees. We already took a look at the 90 degrees, the two perpendicular lines, minus your latitude, where you are standing from, plus the 23.5 degrees tilt of the sun, right? So the length of days and hours can be estimated by trigonometric functions. You'd have to go online and kind of take a look at what those trigonometric functions are, because I can't go over that right now, but based on the sun's angle at sunrise and sunset, which are determined by the Earth's rotation and tilt. So again, 90 degrees minus your altitude, your latitude rather, plus the 23.5 degrees. So again, look back over that, when you see it online, and the recording of it, so that you can kind of get a thorough look at it. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Now here we're talking about sunrise sunset chart. Fatten that up for me just a little bit. We're going to look at what's in the yellow. What happens is, as we look at the I believe this is the sunrise chart. What's happening is, as the sun is reaching, as the sun is climbing back up on the far end. All right, how to read the chart on the far end is December the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and the 24th. The sun is standing still. It's standing still. And technically on the 24th is where it moves just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. 0.11 11 hundredths of a minute it moves up, right? So the sun on average moves about, and actually this is seconds. This is 11 hundredths of a second is when the sun is moving, and then after that it goes on the 25th. It'll go to the 15 hundredths of a second, then 18, then 22. What's happening is more light. The light is increasing. That's what's actually happening. It's increasing. And as we are getting it, like, let's say, looking at the 9th through the 20th, what happens is the sun is increasing. Oh, actually, is decreasing as far as the and that's why we see the negative. So it's negative 46 seconds, negative 43, 39, 35, all the way down to negative 4 seconds, 4 hundredths of a second. And then after that, it starts to increase. So the value gets greater than 1 after the negative. It gets greater than 1 second, then 3 seconds, then 7, 11, 15, and then it keeps on climbing. And that's the sun as it's going from the summer solstice down to the winter solstice, which is in green, yellow. The white is when it's in the summer solstice and it's going down to the winter solstice. It reaches, this is the winter solstice at the 21st. It dies, apparent death, and then it starts going back up again, technically right around the 24th. And then it starts increasing. But as you notice, the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, it stands still. It's like an apparent death in a way, because 7:19 a.m., 7:19 a.m., 7:19 a.m. on the far left side, it's just showing that it's stuck. It's right there. But then after that, it starts going up. It starts going to 7:20, 7:20, and then 7:21, 7:21, 7:21. That's when the sunrise is coming up, right? And then the set is at 4 something p.m. You know what I'm saying? It starts setting, starts going down. So, all right, we can move on to the next one. Again, these are the ones charts for January and December. And again, it's showing that it is the sunrise and sunset. It's showing where there's more time now here in January the 13th. Obviously, we're out of December, and we're 7:20, 7:21, 7:20, 7:20 a.m., 7:19, 7:18, 17:16. This here, we're going towards in this particular case, we are increasing as far as the time is concerned. So it's going back. It's getting more light. It's going up. You know what I'm saying? It's starting to it's resurrection. The sun it resurrected on the 25th, and then from the 1st all the way to the 12th, it kind of stays still a little bit, and then after that, as far as the sun rises, it gets early and earlier. The time change. All right, so we can move on to the next one. This is for June. So now we're taking a look. It's getting closer towards the time is increasing, all the way from June. We look at the 1st going all the way. The sun sets. It's rising. It's starting. It's early rising, at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. And then after that, it starts rising. It's getting a little later, right? It's getting a little later. We see the 26, 27, and 28 is getting later as far as the time is concerned. So again, now at this particular point, it's reached its highest point on the 21st, somewhere between the 21st and the 25th, and then after that, it's starting to go back down again as far as the solstice, the winter solstice is concerned. But it's still within that region of summer solstice, and then now it's starting to go down when we started going past the 21st and 22nd of June, rather, because that's the June chart. So, all right, let's go ahead. Let's move. Same thing, June and July. It's at this point, it's going down a little less. It's decreasing. It's decreasing. So here we look at the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's 5:30 a.m. is when it's rising. the sunrise and the setting at what is that? It's something p.m. I'm not sure if that's a 6. Looks like 8 p.m. Okay, yeah, because the days are longer, right? Is that the days are longer. So we have the sun up for us, and this is in July. So, usually during the summer months, we have the most amount of sun. The sun is out, longer. In the wintertime, the sun is out shorter. That's all the chart is really telling us. So let's move on. All right, so that's it actually, because the rest of this is it goes into Christmas, but that is the cross right there. You saw the galactic cross with the 4 points or whatever the case it is, but I'm not going to get into all of that. I mean, we talked about that, but I'm not going to get into St. Maurice because that's dealing back with Christmas again. So
okay,
I sped through it.
Okay.
Didn't mean to, but
you was teaching. You feel me?
You
didn't. I feel like you touched on what you needed to touch on. This is definitely the time that I would ask anybody in the audience who has questions, and they were able to write them down to begin to pose them, so we could get them answered and whatnot.
All right.
Yes. Great presentation.
How are we doing as far as time?
We're at the 2.5 hour mark. So yeah, we definitely want to be able to wrap this up under the 3.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, definitely. But we're doing good though.
And if there are no questions, directly immediately right now, so that we can have a little bit of, we can uncover some of the dead air. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions that you might have?
Right. I'm gonna ask, because there's a time delay, so we started getting questions out of the chat. I want to go through those before it gets pushed up. So the first question we have: where should one start to learn from a knowledge standpoint?
I don't know. That's a real tricky question, because I mean, I know where you're coming from as far as, well, based off of what you were teaching us or telling us, where should we start? And again, that really depends. I mean, are you a Mason or Eastern Star? You know what I'm saying? So I see the picture and I see the person. So, are you Eastern Star? If it's not based off of Eastern Star or Masonry, which is the culture of the Moors, then I would say, I mean, do you want to know it from a health standpoint, mathematical standpoint? Do you want to know it from a astrological standpoint? Do you want to know it from a cultural standpoint as far as Moorish is concerned? I don't know. The best way I can answer that question is, it depends on what it is that you're, what is your focus? You know what I'm saying? If you're a farmer, what should you plant? When should you be planting? The health wise, what do you want to put into your system? I mean, that's kind of a
broad question.
It's a broad question, so I don't necessarily know how to specifically answer that question. I mean, I can give you, I don't know what direction to put you in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it's math, learn more math. If it's where should you start? I would start the way I do my lodges or grand lodges or whatever, what I used to do, what I may even go back to doing, is you got to get a little bit of everything. You got to get a little agriculture, a little mathematics, a little bit of astronomy, and then you got to, build it from there. You know what I'm saying?
Said neither. She said sun nature. She said neither and no knowledge, and then sun nature. I'm not too sure what exactly that means, but we'll come back to that. Okay. I have another question. What is the 23.5 degrees on the planet mean, good brother?
All right, yeah, the 23.5 degrees is the Earth's wobble. The Earth is on a it's on a
Tilt on
wobble.
the
So
axis.
it's not necessary. Yeah, it sits on a tilt. The Earth is not sitting like straight, you know, at 0 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Like if the origin, when you look at the X and the Y axis, it sits on I can't get my hands together, man, I swear. But yeah, it sits on, so like an origin like this, it's not quite there. This is at 180 degrees or 0 degrees, right? So if we kind of go on a little bit of an axis, that's a little bit too much. But if we go on a little bit of an axis, that's what it means. It means it's on a tilt. The Earth is on a wobble. It spins on a wobble.
Somebody said, explain the new year for the family.
The new year, when we take a look at the new year is the spring equinox. It's March the 21st. It's the spring. You know what I'm saying? It's the spring. It's the beginning of the harvest. It's the spring. You know what I'm saying? It's the beginning. You know.
Right.
So yeah.
What is the name on your fez and what does it mean?
Yeah, we got folks that's digging in for real.
You think so?
Well, I mean, they're not asking basic questions. It all depends on who it is that's asking the question, and and what's the nature of it, So the name of the fez is Kaaba. The name on there is Kaaba, and I said, what's the name and what does it mean? The Kaaba, the Kaaba stone, so that's what it represents, the Kaaba stone, and the way there's different temples do it correctly and incorrectly. You know what I'm saying? So Kaaba, Kaaba, is the correct Kaaba. It's Kaaba, so it's both A's. It's pronounced Kaaba, not Kaaba. So, and yeah, he said, well, what you wearing it for? Well, that was the temple I was in, and that was it. And I happened to rise up to the potentate in that particular.
They didn't say what you went it for. They said, what is the name of your feds and what does it mean? That's it. They didn't ask anything else.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm a talker, man. That's what I get dinged at when I'm at school. When I get my observations, I was like, well, you saying too much. All right, my bad. Let me, So yeah.
Here's the last question. Why do they hold the 33-degree Mason so high when there is 360 degrees of knowledge?
All right. So good question. Very good question. The reason why, so in Masonry, it's analogies, right? It's based off of systems and analogies, that we actually deal with. So the 33 degrees, all right. We look at the 33 or 32, let's say it this way. In Israel, there's 32 generations, and then the 33rd generation is Yahshua the Messiah. So that's where 33 comes from, because it's the 33 generation. The 33rd, there's 32 generations. The 33rd generation is Yahshua the Messiah. It's the ending. It's the finale. The 33 also represents the 33 vertebrae in the actual spine, right? So when you start moving up as far as information, getting more knowledge, you go up this spine. The spine has 33 vertebrae, right? And then you have when you have 30, what is it? when you have the nerve endings of 2 nerve endings on each vertebrae, there's a nerve ending on each side of the vertebrae, bringing it to 66. And then you look at the 66 Bible books in the Bible, and there's different connections that are connected to each one of the numbers. When you reach the 33rd is the Christ consciousness, or the Christos consciousness. So then what happens is you've reached the Christos or the Christ level. However, to the layperson, we appear to have 33 degrees, and that I can just leave it at that. But I gave you the science behind it, but
Okay.
there's actually
I got one more question. I'm sorry. Right. This one, we're going to leave it on this. What applications does this information have for someone who isn't familiar with lodges or who doesn't identify as a Moor?
All right. So if you don't identify as a Moor, or if if you're not familiar with it, or whatever the case it is, the application what does this information have? The information, as far as it just has what it has. What benefit, now you might ask. I'll rephrase the question, and I'll say what benefit versus what information or what application does this have for someone? The application would be, the benefit and the application is the fact that, okay, you're not a Moor, so this isn't part of your culture, this isn't you, or whatever, or you don't identify that way. Then what happens is it still benefits you as far as, timekeeping and agriculture. No, it wouldn't do that for you.
You sure?
Well, it
like
would.
For a farmer that's out there.
Yeah. And for mathematicians and stuff. So it does benefit you as far as farming and things of that nature. I'm just saying they're more sophisticated. There's more sophisticated ways that you can do farming. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more that you'd have to add into it. This is very minute knowledge as far as farming is concerned. What to plant, what type of herbs or vegetation can be planted subterranean underneath the ground during the wintertime. Which ones would you plant next to each other? Which ones do the suns grow the deepest root and get the atomic minerals and things of that nature? The mathematics that's applied if you're going into aerospace technology or navigation and stuff like that. These particular calculations that I just mentioned to you will help you not only navigating through college and higher degrees, but it would help you as far as different things that you would use math for, and timekeeping and even navigation if you're on a ship and things of that nature. Of course, it wouldn't go that technical on the ships or whatever, but I mean, all of this is based off of the usefulness as far as just everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how basic or how advanced your life is, you would use this information for a variety of different things.
Indeed. Okay, so my good brother, do you have a way for anybody to get in contact with you? Do you have any handles or email? Did any of the students, because there will be people watching this on a replay, so if that's something that you want correspondence?
Yeah, it is something I want correspondence. And you know what? I'm going to say right now, if this is okay, this is when veiled and allegory helps to govern yourself accordingly. That's true. It is. It is. That's the somebody posted the system of morality that's veiled in the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
You know, and networking is the biggest asset of the lodge or any organization. That is true. Both of those are definitely true. But again, the things that I'm going over was not part of the lodge. I mean, it's something that can be used. And I think at some point, well, at no point was it ever something that was a collective that was taught in the actual lodge itself. So what I'm talking about right now has never been a part of the Masonic brand or theme that we have actually used in Masonry. That has not been a part of it. It has not. So this is something that is new information that's out there. As far as, you know, what can we use? How can we teach in the lodges today, or what's going on in the lodges today? That's not something that's a part of what's going on, and that's something that I'm actually looking to change. There is a so for those who are brothers and sisters who are out there, Masons and Eastern Stars. I don't have, and this is bad on my part, I don't have I have my own personal number, you know what I'm saying? But I want to, since it's going to be a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? My phone to get bombarded. I don't have a
Email.
business line.
Have an email?
Email. Yeah. I do have an email. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all you need.
I'm not a technological person, so I'm trying.
Not a problem. What is
So
your email so I can type it?
You said you'll type it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Income streams, INCOMESTREAMS, the number 1, the letter M at gmail.com. Income streams 1M at gmail.com.
Okay. I'm gonna post that right there. Is that correct?
Income streams 1M at gmail.com. Hot dang, that is it. And also you'll be able to, from there, you'll be able to purchase books that will actually help you to get some information as it ties to Masonry and astronomy, and a couple other things that I didn't even talk about. But those who are really caught on the Moors, right, and then Moors and Masonry, and then also Eastern Stars. So there's a lot of things that I didn't get a chance to get into, and then treaties and things of that nature. So those are things that people can, you know, contact me about information and other things like that as well. So there's a lot of things I wasn't able to cover on this particular stream or live or whatever, but I'll be back, and, you know, we're going to do more. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, my brother. So I definitely want to say thank you for your time. And this was a very informative show. I'm sure that there's somebody out there who benefited. You know what I mean? The students in the audience are able to take this information, and, you know, and I would encourage y'all to pause it, do your Googles, you know what I mean, and apply it, you know what I mean, because it is applicable. You feel me? So I definitely want to say thank you for the lesson, brother Yisrael Bey, my brother Abdullah Mosley Bey.
Yes.
Good, you know, Islam to everybody who assisted us in this demonstration. All right. Thank you. And we're going to end this show. I want to say thank you to all the KTLians in the building. Tomorrow we'll be back for Techno Tuesdays. Look out for that. And yeah, with that being said, peace, love, and light.
All right, peace, family.
Yes, indeed. Peace, y'all. Make sure y'all hit up the Buy Me a Coffee. Send a donation to the channel. Keep things alive. We didn't have any what do they call that? Super chats. So, you know, thank y'all for your support in advance. All right. And with that being said, we out. We out. Peace.
All right, peace.
Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we're stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.